E Laura è rimasta bloccata, qui io non ricevo.
No, qua non prende. Ah, fammelo comunque, perché qua normalmente non prende, salvo prendere all'ultimo minuto. E difatti questo qua adesso prende, l'altro giorno non prendeva niente. Almeno silenzioso. Simonetta, aspetta, lei adesso. Perché
Vieni qua.
ci conviene poi cominciare puntuali.
Ok, aspetta. Com'era la cosa che era da correggere? Non era free access, non reuse, ma era...
Fammi vedere se c'è.
No. Lo leggo dalle slide. Ok, corretto. Vuoi un po' d'acqua? Patrizia, vuoi un po' d'acqua? Ah sì, grazie. Liscia. Simonetta, vuoi un po' d'acqua?
Via lo sterno. Grazie, sì.
Liscia, va bene?
Preventivo, uguale.
Senti, quanto tempo abbiamo? Non mi ricordo più.
Fino alle 10:30, un quarto d'ora.
Ciascuno?
Un quarto d'ora ciascuno, sì. Sì.
Good morning. Buongiorno. My name is Stanisław Hrabia. I'm Iaml Vice President and Iaml Program Officer. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the plenary session, and I send warm greetings to all attendees who are watching us via internet. This is the second session that is being streamed. There is a great opportunity for all people who cannot come to Rome to be with us anyway, using this internet connection. And particularly cordiali saluti da Roma to our president, Barbara Dobbs-McKenzie. She was not able to come to Rome, but I want to assure Barbara that you are with us all the time here. Small announcement. The second session of the General Assembly will start 15 minutes earlier. It will be 1:45, so please be on time. The scope of plenary session is to inform international community of music librarians about the activities related to music in ICCU, the Italian Union Catalog. The ICCU activities on music started in 1987 and were presented for the first time at the Iaml conference in Oxford in 1989 and then in Naples in 2008. It is my great pleasure to introduce the chair of the session, Simonetta Buttò, the director of ICCU, the institute founded in Rome and responsible for Italian Union Catalog SBN, Servizio Bibliotecario Nazionale. Wide range of the professional activity of Simonetta Buttò grew on the basis of studies in Italian literature, modern philology, and codicology, developed through the responsibilities as the head of state libraries, Biblioteca Universitaria di Genova and Biblioteca di Storia Moderna e Contemporanea in Rome, and a teacher's activity at Italian universities of L'Aquila, Pisa, and Siena. At present, she is the editor of web publication, the Bibliographical Dictionary of Librarians of 20th Century, and periodical Digitalia. She also participates to relevant national digitization projects. She is also corresponding member of the Istituto Nazionale di Studi Romani and represents Ministry of Culture in the board of the Accademia Lantisiana. The session is presented by the organizing committee, and I would like to mention also our speakers from ICCU, Patrizia Martini, Massimo Gentili Tedeschi, Laura Ciancio, Marzia Piccinino, Elisa Ciotti. Please welcome Simonetta Buttò and our distinguished speakers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would first extend my gratitude for this opportunity to President-elect Stanislav Rabbia and to Michele Dall'Ongaro, President Superintendent of the Accademia Nazionale di Santa Cecilia, to Annelisa Bini, Tiziana Grande, and Federica Riva. Members of the organizing committee, to all the speaker and the participant from prestigious institutions from all over the world. It is with great pleasure that I welcome all of you to this plenary session devoted to our Central Institute and its activities in documenting the Italian music heritage. This morning, we will have 3 papers focused on the main activities of the Institute, but let me first start with a brief overview. Among ICU's institutional activities, cataloging rules and guidelines occupy a special place, as ICU is the main Italian institution dealing with the cataloging rules and standards. The main effort is at present to make all rules and guidelines freely accessible on the web. A wiki platform has thus been developed and will present all text and vocabularies constantly updated and coordinated to each other. Here is an overview of ongoing work. RECAT, our rules published in 2009, are under revision now. The first version has just been uploaded in the wiki and will be updated whenever a revised chapter will be ready for publishing. The working group on music, renewed last year, is preparing new cataloging rules for non-published music resources. Music manuscript, sound, video recording, electronic resources. Even if there is no plan to adopt RDA, resource description and access in Italy, the Italian translation has been published last year and uploaded in the RDA toolkit in March 2016. Needless to say, ICU is a member of EURIG, the European RDA interest group. The guidelines on cataloging in the National Union Catalog, our SBN, have just been uploaded to the online wiki. Massimo Gentili Tedeschi will tell you more about the rules and guidelines. Besides that, ICU publishes Act of Congress, special bibliographies, catalog, researches, and since last January, an online newsletter sent to the subscribers by email containing relevant, quick information and links to the main activities concerning ICU. Another chapter of ICU's activities is about a national system. SBN, Servizio Bibliotecario Nazionale, is the National Union Catalog. On the 1st of April, we celebrated 30 years of our great library network with a national conference, and now some other Italian institutions are organizing new meetings and workshops about this important anniversary. Since its origin, ICU takes care of its management and development, of authority control, and of the functions of interlibrarian loan. You can see here some rough figures. More than 1,500 libraries grouped in 98 nodes are connected to the central index. SBN counts almost 16 million bibliographic records with more than 80 million locations. Music has a special attention in what concerns the granularity of the information in the bibliographic record, as you will hear in the next paper by Patrizia Martini, but also in the quantity of the records in the catalog. Almost the 2.5 million bibliographic records of music resources, including printed and manuscript music, sound and video recording, librettos, serials, with millions of analytic records and connection with digitized items. ICU promotes also Internet Culturale, catalogs and digital collection from Italian libraries, the online portal providing access to the heritage held by Italian libraries and cultural institutions. It is a multimedia web tool that allows both bibliographical information and the digital library to be viewed in the same virtual place. But all bibliographic content, in particular music manuscript, printed music, and sound recordings, may be accessed also through SBN online public access catalog. All its content is also part of the main aggregator concerning the national cultural heritage and activities, that is Cultura Italia. This is the subject of Laura Ciancio paper. Some numbers about Internet Culturale. You can see more than 900,000 digital objects, 140,000 of which are full text using, and concerning music, more than 160,000 digitized sound recordings, music manuscript, librettos, printed scores, etc. Within the ordinary activities, ICU takes also care of the Anagrafe delle Biblioteche Italiane, the Italian Libraries database, collecting detailed information of any type concerning libraries throughout the country. The database includes a georeferencing tool to locate libraries and make use of load, link, and open data. Again, some figures, more than 17,000 libraries, more than 1,300 libraries with historical music heritage. So, as national EASL agency, ICU releases the International Standard Identifier for libraries and related organizations, Concerning music libraries, ICU has established in association with the General Directorate on Archives and Iaml Italia, a working group, Anagrafe Archivi, that is taking care of the harmonization of ISIL codex and will give a fuller description of Italian libraries with musical sources, including RISM siglas. Carla Di Loreto and Andrea Giuliano will present the project in a poster session tomorrow from 10:30 to 12:30 and also in the afternoon. ICU manages two national census databases and other projects. Manus Online is a census database containing catalog descriptions and digital images of manuscript, private papers, and archives held by Italian public, private, and ecclesiastical libraries. 273 institutions take part of the project. Edit 16, the National Census of 16th Century Italian editions, including, beside the detailed descriptions of the items, a bibliography archive and a dedication archive. Edit 16 contains today almost 68,000 bibliographic records and more than 4,500 digital copies from all over the world. All devices are scanned and described and are searchable online. ICU takes care of the national project titled 1418 Documenti e immagini della Grande Guerra, creating an archive of image of historical, documentary, and artistic interest related to world first. Concerning international activities, ICU participated in several international activities, including the transnational project Europeana Sound, co-founded by the European Commission and coordinated by the British Library. The main objective of this initiative is to increase the presence of music and sound-related content into Europeana, the European portal for digital cultural resources promoted by the European Commission and supported by the member states. ICU is a partner of the project through the Internet Culturale portal and aggregates 85,000 sound contents owned and digitized by the Central Institute for Sound and Audiovisual Heritage. This Central Institute has an important and prestigious collection, including wax cylinder, LPs and singles, tapes, compact disc, videotapes, DVDs, and Blu-rays that was collected through legal deposit, donations, and agreements with other institutions. Recently, the Central Institute for Sound and Audiovisual Heritage completed the migration of his data to the index of SBN, which is thus enriched by almost 300,000 documents and 1,500,000 sound and video analytic record. Marzia Piccinino and Elisa Sciotti will tell you more later this morning. Within IFLA, the International Federation of Library Association, you know, ICU is the national representative directly involved in several review groups. ISBD, where the ICU representative chairs the group, UNIMARC and the permanent UNIMARC committee, FRBR and the development of the new FRBR library reference model, and the international cataloging principles. VIAF ICU sends names of persons cataloged at a high level of definition to the Virtual International Authority file, and the names are now more and more coherent with the existing clusters. 200,000 names from SBN have been sent in Unimark format. Note that VIAF has expressed its interest in getting the Italian uniform titles for music. ICU is also partner of the World Digital Library and the Consortium of European Research Libraries, the CERL. ICU is also involved with other bodies and associations with which signs special agreements. Some of these concern music. An agreement between ICU and Iaml Italia has just been signed. It established a mutual cooperation for the maintenance of SBN and cataloging, development of the system, editing rules and guidelines for music, for the management of data in the Anagrafe delle Biblioteche Italiane. And another agreement between ICU and RISM is in progress concerning data exchange and cross-searching between online public access catalogs, chiefly music manuscript. As a conclusion, I wish to invite you to visit the stand in the exhibition hall, where you will find information on all ICU activities, get instructions on the use of the online public catalog, and the function of the library census, look at Internet Culturale. But we'll be also glad to receive your feedback, suggestions, comments, and so on. Thank you for your attention. Thank you to all. And now may I introduce the next speakers. Patrizia Martini is the library manager in ICU since 1978. In the course of her professional experience, she has been engaged in activities concerning cataloging standards and new technologies within the National Library Service. She has been the ICU delegate of the IFLA cataloging section and the permanent Unimark committee. She has also been involved in several European and international projects in the sector of digital heritage. Currently, she is the head of two areas of the Institute, the area for the development and the coordination of the National Library Service, Catalog and Network, and the area for cataloging standards and guidelines activities, and a member of the Commission for the revision of the Italian cataloging rules and of the working group on music resources. And then we speak Massimo Gentili Tedeschi. He is the head of the Ufficio Ricerca Fondi Musicali of the National Library Braidense in Milan and of the music department of the ICU. Since 1984, he has cooperated publishing cataloging rules for music manuscripts and uniform titles and guidelines on music cataloging in SBN, and is now a member of the RECAT Commission and the chair of the working group preparing the cataloging rules for non-published music resources. His experience in cataloging formats date back to 1978, and since 1986, he has taken part to the development of the National Union Catalog for Music. Within IFLA, he chairs the ESBD review group and is a member of the standing committee of the cataloging section of the FRBR review group and of the permanent Unimark committee. Within Iaml, he has covered several responsibilities and was president of this association. Now he is a member of the RISM Commission Mixed. Patrizia and Massimo will speak of music in National Library Service, new rules and standards. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. In today's presentation, I'd like to show you the National Library Service, which is the national infrastructure for offering bibliographic services to libraries and to end users. And I'd like to cover three main points. Firstly, I'll show you the Union Catalog of Italian Libraries, which is a tool for bibliographic control and availability of resources. Secondly, the shared cataloging in the cooperation model of SBN, the cataloging of music in a context of different cataloging level, how to access and discover music documents in the Union Catalog, and how to connect from the catalog to related digital copies. And finally, a look to the international context to highlight how the SBN and the national systems, coordinated by ICU, are working in the European project and in the international initiatives. Now, just a brief introduction to SBN. You have already heard from Simonetta Buttò. The project was born in 1986, and the network was online actually in 1992 and became the National Network of Italian Libraries. This is the architecture of the National Library Service. You can see the participation of almost 6,000 libraries connected to the central index through 98 local nodes, which are local systems. Since 1904, the SBN index is open to any library management system. That is an important issue for the project. So all the system using the application protocol SBN Mark, that is the protocol for shared cataloging function and interaction between local library management system and index, is based on MARC standards. Now, let's take a look to the different types of resources described and integrated in the Union Catalog. You can see the different types, modern, antiquarian, with the number 15 million, for modern antiquarian almost 1 million. All type of music documents divided in manuscript, printed music, librettos, sound recordings, and music tracks, which are analytic records. Focusing on amount of music records, on music analytic records, this huge number of music tracks is the result of the activity of the import in SBN of the database of the Central Institute for Sound and Audiovisual Heritage, which is the most important sound and audiovisual public archives existing in Italy. And most of these records had also the digital copy in the Union Catalog. The other types of material are video, cartographic, graphic, authors over 4 millions. And the number of digital copy now are about 700,000, but we are working to improve this connection to digital content, from bibliographic catalog to digital content. Here I have two examples of cataloging records in OPAC, in SBN OPAC. The first is a manuscript. It doesn't work. The first is a manuscript, so you can see the granularity of description. In SBN, there are different granularity of information in description of all types of material. Io però devo cliccare, come faccio? No, quello è il secondo.
First example, wait a moment.
It's a problem of displaying.
It's an issue of...
Okay. I'd like to show you the link to digital copy at the end of the records of the description. So this is the digital copy site in Internet Culturale portal. So from the bibliographic catalog, we have the link to the digital copy, and you can surf with all the images of the manuscript. This is the first example. In the second, Massimo?
Aspetta. No, te le giro io.
The second? The second is a music sound recording of the Central Institute for Sound and Audiovisual Heritage, and you can listen the digital track of 30 seconds. Click in the... No, sotto, lì. No, it's a problem now.
L'imperatore del mondo, son dell'olme qua giù, un colteranno, e mi pose fortuna a vostro danno, o madre, o moglie, o precettore, o Roma.
Chiudi. Ok. Now, this is important activities that we are improving to improve the number of links to digital content in the bibliography, in the Union catalog. Sorry. Okay. Now, I will spend just a few words about the two key concepts of SBN, which are cooperation and shared cataloging. ICU has the task of creating the Union Catalog of Italian libraries in a context of extreme dissemination of our cultural heritage. Such an aim could not be realized without a strong cooperation and a political agreement among different subjects, which are state, regional government, university. The second point concerns online shared cataloging. It means offer a central system that could manage shared cataloging and provide bibliographic records and authority elements in a relational database which each resource is described just once and where each bibliographic record or authority element is available to be downloaded by libraries, reuse for other description, and modify if it's necessary. So the central index has a flexible model that allows different levels of cooperation. different cataloging profile, different authority levels. The previous description has different granularity of information in the records. So the library can describe a document with a core of element of data or with specific data for the specific type of material. But this flexibility needs the right application of common standards and cataloging rules. And this is the issue will be shown by Massimo Gentili Tedeschi in his presentation. So shared cataloging is based on the core of common data for modern and antiquarian type of materials. And in addition to this common data, we can describe with specific data for different types of resources. For music, cartographic and graphic, both antiquarian and modern. And finally, audiovisual. Audiovisual, which is the last cataloging line we have implemented in the SBN. So you can describe, for example, a sound recording music, and you can describe as music with specific field of music, a specific field for audio or video. So you can have a full description of this type of material. Okay, I just to have a look to SBN benefits. Here, some of the benefits of SBN are listed here. Shared cataloging represents the greatest benefit for libraries, as they can download records for over 19% of new acquisition, as well as of publication already held. The second point is the interoperability with commercial library management system. That means to increase the cooperation without the limitation of the library management system choices. So it's important also to improve the cooperation, the number of institutions that can cooperate with SBN. Shared cataloging as a best practice, so libraries can deploy more resources in services for users. And finally, the concept of bibliographic control on bibliographic and authority records, which produce a significant professional growth of Italian libraries. Just a look to the governance policies. For increasing number of libraries participating in SBN, we need to improve tools to work and to solve some governance policies problems. For example, the problem of quality of data is dealt with the monitoring instrument and profiling libraries in different ways. Obviously, we cannot prevent libraries to enter incorrect data, but we can investigate on recurring errors in cataloging, for example, the duplication of records, but the full organization of the network is based on the principle of decentralization, and this is not the least reason for the success of the project that requires a high level of agreement. Finally, this is an overview of the SBN, other national system, and their connection with international projects and activities. These are not all the international projects we are working on, but is a framework in which SBN Index and the other national system are integrating with their data, their catalog. Firstly, I'd like to mention the cooperation with VIAF, Virtual International Authority File. We sent to VIAF almost 200,000 authority records. The OPAC SBN is the catalog, the online public catalog for end user. Is integrated with the services for SBN, ILL SBN, International Library Loan Services, and document delivery, which is integrated also with other international portals for services. We are working also to improve this type of integration. We are working for ILL SBN also with the IDEM GAR, which is the federated authentication in the system, digital authentication federated, which is connected also with the European project EduGain. The OPAC SBN has been sent to the TEL, the European Library. The records which have some digital image are sent also to Europeana. So Internet Culturale will be shown in the following presentation, and also Europeana Sounds. And finally, I'd like to mention to the cooperation with CERL, Consortium of European Library of Research Libraries. We send the data of Edit 16 edition and the manuscript of the project Manus that can see displayed in the CERL portal. So in this framework, I'd like to highlight the integration. We are working to integration with other database, for example, integration of SBN with Edit 16, the integration with the digital content, so from the bibliographic records to the URI of Internet Culturale, integration within the ILL services to other services of other libraries in the web. And we are working in this direction. Now, that's conclude my presentation, and I thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Patrizia, for your overview of our different activities, huge activities in our Central Institute. And now, Massimo Gentili Tedeschi.
Let me open the browser and can't see anything.
Con questo lo vuoi fare con questo?
No, lo voglio fare con questo. No. Ok. Sì.
No, non si vede.
Okay. So just a very, very quick overview of the rules, the cataloging rules we have done, especially concerning music. The first cataloging national corpus of cataloging rules are RICA, Regole Italiane di Catalogazione per Autore, which are of 1975, and followed in 1979 by a manual on music cataloging, which was in fact an extension of this set of rules, and including an Italian translation of the Iaml cataloging rules on music manuscripts. A new set of rules for music manuscripts was written in 1984, Guida alla catalogazione dei manoscritti musicali, that included detail on how to deal with uniform title. In 1990, we published a guide on the uniform description of manuscript, which included an appendix on how to describe music manuscripts and liturgical manuscripts. We published, of course, several guidelines on how to catalog in the National Library System following the development of the system. For music, a big achievement, a big step was done in 2006 with a new draft version of the guidelines on the uniform title. And in 2009, we had the new cataloging code, REICAT, Regole Italiane di Catalogazione, which was also a dialogue with the working group on music in order to include a detailed description on musical scores and a bit on recordings. Now, in 2012, we published detailed guidelines on, they are here, on how to catalog music resources in the National Library System. These included a lot of detail on how to describe sound recordings, video recordings, of course, published notated music, and electronic resources, music resources. The last achievement was the just published, the final version of the uniform title for music, which is a huge book extending the national REICAT rules. You can imagine in REICAT there were 5 pages on the uniform title for music. It's a book of 200 pages with a lot of detail, a lot of analysis and examples on how to elaborate the uniform title for music. Last year, the Commissione REICAT started again the work to revise the national cataloging rules, and I will speak a bit more later on that. In parallel, the music working group has started another work on non-published music resources, and I will tell you a few words later. ICU takes care of a lot of other documentation for guidelines for special materials, which are not interesting for us, but they are not for music. ICU edits translations of the main standards, ISBDs, of course, FRBR, and last year the translation of RDA were published. We do not intend to adopt RDA, but we thought it was essential to publish it in Italian, and the Italian translation has been uploaded also in the RDA toolkits. So anybody who wants to see RDA in Italian can go through the toolkit. On the websites, on the ECO website, there are updates of the rules, recommendation, guidelines, best practices and facts on the cataloging rules. As my director mentioned before, we have started publishing online in a wiki all our cataloging rules. There is a special website that we can see here where REICAT has been uploaded and all the common codes that we have in the national system and on how to catalog modern books and antiquarian books in our system. They are very simple. They are divided in chapters, and you can. The structure is still a bit like the older texts, but it's much more interactive. And what is interesting in having on a website is that you can much better coordinate the rules. If you need to apply a rule to a system, you will have a direct connection from one chapter describing the rule and the equivalent chapter describing on how to apply this rule in the system. While now we have several volumes which are much less comfortable to use. Another big advantage is to upload the updates as soon as they are ready for publication. And this will be our future way of our behavior in the future. For instance, with REICAT, we have a plan to publish as soon as possible what we call version 1.1 of the rules. We have already revised the 3 main chapters, adding examples, simplifying the language, avoiding some duplications that were in the rules. So it's a minor change, but big steps, because, for instance, all examples will be uploaded in the website and commented, and you will be able to see the examples. Later, we will work on version 2.0, and we will see the new model, the new FRBR model. We are proud to say that REICAT are the first FRBR-based national cataloging rules ever, long before RDA. But we will follow, of course, the evolution of these rules. I was telling you that we are dealing with non-published music resources. These are an extension of REICAT. REICAT is focused mainly on published resources. We deal with non-published resources, which is one small chapter in REICAT, and will be a large manual for music. We try to apply ISBD whenever possible to non-published resources. And this is an urgent issue because many of our libraries have archival music resources, sort of archival materials, printouts, resources which where we have a complete lack of rules. Defining what is a non-published music resource has been the major issue. We started, of course, with music manuscripts, but then we said, for instance, what are music sound recording, non-published music sound recordings or video recordings, which are both homemade or produced in studios, and several archives, including the National Sound Archives, are full of these materials. Then, concerning electronic resources, we tried to understand what we meant, which is resources which are not freely available on the web, which is considered published, but for instance, drafts which are sent directly from the composer, where there is no defined stability of the file. And this is a huge problem. And then we have plenty of printouts of files, and these also we consider non-published resources. If you wish, I am often at the stand, and we can show you all our published manuals, even some archaeological things of the 90s. And we are happy to receive and to show you how the OPAC works and how we work on that. Thank you very much. Let me see if this works. Yes.
Thank you, Massimo. And now Laura Ciancia is responsible of Internet Culturale ICUS digital repository for free management of the digital collection of our partners. She coordinates the activities for the development of digitization and services for the access to resources. The title of Laura's paper is The Italian Music Network and its Digital Collections. It's okay? We have some technical problems.
Possiamo aprire e poi me lo fai tu? Ah, ma perché non questo? Ah, ok. Ma scusa, questo no? Ok.
Vai.
Ok. Ok. The Institute has been involved with digital technology since the year 2000. The year preceding a study of the visibility of the creation of the Italian Digital Library, commissioned by the General Directorate for Libraries, and revealed the fragmentary nature of the initiative, the absence of common guiding principles, and the lack of a website for gathering the digital records of the library community. The Institute organizes an internal division of labor and coordinates digitalization projects directed towards larger strategic areas: music, press, historical catalogs. At the beginning, I myself was called to coordinate activities in the field of music on account of my long experience as a librarian for the conservatory in Rome. For the last 6 years, I have been responsible for the web portal of Internet Culturale and for the digital area of the Institute. In the first years of this new activity, ICU established study groups to determine the standards of digital production and the framework for metadata, Schema MAG. Later, the process of sharing and coordination on the European level was important, initiated with the Minerva project. Today, the area for the development of digitizing service and for providing access to documents as the following function. Preferisco farlo io. Grazie, ma è complicato. To coordinate projects which enable the participation of partners in order to produce constant growth in the number of digital libraries, to provide continuity to the project over time, to run the database of catalogs of the digital library and of the repository Magtica, to ensure technological updates and innovation through the entire system, to guarantee interoperability among other aggregation, Cultura Italia Europeana, to train the library staff, to provide consulting and assistance to our partners, to raise the profile of Internet Culturale. The Internet Culturale is the result of these goals. Its mission is to be the portal for Italian libraries, and in particular, their digital collection. It integrates 14 important digital repositories throughout Italy, and is also the aggregator for the catalog databases of ICO, OpenSBN, Manus Online, Edit 16, and historical catalogs. The user of Internet Culturale receives a multifaceted reply to any search term, since the research motor looks for the content in all of its databases. The user can further refine the result by applying filter, and through the information gathered by the portal is led to the detailed record from the database which provide it. The addition of new records from the various database catalogs occurs periodically, which uploads to the index of Internet Culturale, where Dublin Core has been selected as the common standard for Unimac by SBN and by Edit 16 for XML TEI by Manus Online. Grazie. Let us now focus our attention on the Italian Digital Library. This is composed of an index of metadata writing according to the Italian Schema Mag, and an index of the optical character recognition created to make possible the search for textual content in printed works. The two synchronized databases are indexed for Solar when so requested by the manager of the portal. This happens every time that it is necessary proceed to harvesting, which is carried out with the protocol Open Archives Initiative Protocol for Metadata Harvesting on a content provider, either as a complete import or only a partial one for the new metadata alone. This is the list of content provider Internet Culturale. Here you see some figures regarding Internet Culturale. In 2015, the visitors were more than 23 million. The digital library viewer provides a function for browsing images through a full-text search mode based on the OSR result. Is a style sheet for reading text in TEI format. It plays audio tracks. It is able to point to an index for digitized. It allows the user to download the digital object in PDF version on a particular crop. The viewer recall the images stored on the content provider repository, and for giving a quick performance, it stores internally in the platform a cache copy on the digital object. The viewer is also available on OPAC SBN, Manus Online, and Edit 16 catalogs. Of course, it is possible to link from the digital libraries to catalogs. The growth in the number of digital items in today's libraries collections has led to an understanding that strategic actions must be taken to preserve these digital assets and make them available to future generations. It is conceivable that every library has a digital repository. And so where it is possible to store and preserve digital assets, the Institute has given an answer to this need. It has organized a repository named Magtica for storing and managing digital collection free of charge. Today, more than 100 libraries are using this service, saving costs of hardware, software management, and maintenance. Soon, an updated version of the repository will be ready. A new functionality will allow the repository manager to compile metadata, retrieving digital object description directly from Unimerc and TEI files. Internet Culturale offers to all its partners visibility on Cultura Italia and Europeana portals, disseminating the knowledge of the Italian bibliographic heritage. It also has a role of content provider of many international and national projects, such as Europeana Sounds and the Europeana level and a national level, Verdi online portal created for the second centenary of Giuseppe Verdi. Interoperability between systems is always possible to mapping different data models and sharing protocols. What are the content of Internet Culturale Digital Library? Here you can see a summary of key figures presented on the basis of the type of material. Users can search and browse manuscripts, ancient and modern edition, documents, letters, photographs, and so on. In general, digital objects are out of copyright. You can see in the map the geographical distribution of digital musical collection. Among all these collections, for time reasons, I am obliged to cite only the letters. The five collections of the libraries of the Conservatory San Pietro a Maiella, more than 20,000 manuscripts was custom design. Music manuscripts of the Library of Conservatory of Florence with 1,328. Music archives of the Library of Monte Cassino Abbey with 324 score and 40 planchets. Music archive in use and the Oratory Girolamini from Napoli with 700 score. Contadini and the Canal collection of the Marciana Library of Venezia with 1,084 manuscripts. In the Interculturale portal, you can find a full list of 47 collections, but I want to underline what you can find musical materials in the Internet Culturale's collection, such as some planchets of the Plute collection from the Laurentiana Library of Florence. Io non ci posso fare niente. Very interesting are the collection from Archivio Storico Ricordi, 13,800 metadata, realized in collaboration with ICU and the Bridense Library, which hosts the physical collection. I invite you to discover the digital assets, browsing it from the introductory pages. Talking about music, we usually think of digitized manuscripts or edition score. However, the Internet Culturale collection tells also about complexity of making music. The documents are, for example, contract, correspondence, celebrators, etc. The effective collaboration, no, scusate, era prima, tornare indietro. Ok, thank you. The effective collaboration with the Central Institute of Sound and Audiovisual Materials to the results you may read in the slide. The results are also due to the technical participation on the Internet Culturale to European Sound project, which will be presented in the next speech. For my part, I want to emphasize that the types developed by the project are also adopted by the Internet Culturale. I would like to observe that about the collection of sound recording in Internet Culturale, you can listen to 30 seconds of each file with the Cilindri Fonografici collection, the Majorano collection of Puglia region are available complete listening. We are working for updating Internet Culturale portal with a new graphic layout and more efficient research functionalities. This renewed version will be locked soon. The viewer that I showed you earlier with the full text service is the first step of the new release that I am presenting now. Here you can see the new homepage, Internet Culturale. You can see two menus of the types and the disciplines, tools that allow us to improve the user experience. This is the type selection, manuscripts, books, score, map, images, audio. This is the discipline section: literature, sciences, history, art, religion, philosophy, technology. Let us review and see how the user can browse the REMI, Italian Music Network, new section of the portal Internet Culturale. You can find content, articles in storytelling mode, text, images, galleries, and the links to Internet Culturale page devoted to music collection. In the section, the menus are specialized for music knowledge, organized on the basis of type and content. The content in REMI is curated by an editorial staff that selected, collect, and present the content of the digital library through storytelling and articles. For example, in the case of Plain Chants in the Pluti collection, metadata description does not have sufficient information on music content. Thanks to editorial works, these resources are collected and presented in REMI. Sì, manca pochissimo. On the left, on the left are shown the most important principal type. In the central page devoted to type, theatrical materials. You can see the subtype, costume design, prop design, shiny maps, stickers, etc. In this case, the central page is open on type documents, where the user has the opportunity to study more in-depth materials such as correspondence, press review, poster, etc. Among these possibilities are links that lead the user to digital library search results. For the moment, the e-system provides only the types presented below. Going back to the home page, you will find a new selection of the portal devoted to the Italian digital periodicals library. No, scusate, okay. The resources are listed to the basis of the title and the filtered to region on discipline when this information is clearly defined in the metadata. A subscription is dedicated to music, where you can find the International Center for Research of Music Periodicals repository of Parma and the serial resource coming from other collections. After selecting a title, the user can reach an issue, selecting here month, days, organized according to the tree structure. Thanks.
And now Marzia Piccinino and Lisa Sciotti. Marzia works as a project manager of ICU since 2008. She's in charge of the implementation of the national and international activities of several European co-funded projects, including Europeana Sounds. She was the director of the Archaeological Museum of Valmontone and participated in the national and the European activities of the three Minerva projects coordinated by Italian Ministry of Culture and of MedCult. The project founded by UNESCO to spread the Minerva results across the Mediterranean basin. Most recently, she was responsible of the content coordination for Athena, Athena Plus, and Linked Heritage, three European projects coordinated by ICU and feeding Europeana, the European Digital Library. And then Elisa Sciotti is graduated in modern literature with a special attention to library and information sciences. Since 2008, she works on European projects for the digitization, preservation and promotion of cultural heritage in which ICU is a partner. Such as Michael, the Digital Cultural Heritage Roadmap for Preservation, and the Europeana Food and Drink. Excuse me. She takes part in the activities of the Institute related to the music field, such as Europeana Sounds project, and support the working group on music materials. She also cooperates in the management of the communication on social media of our institute. Okay, Marzia.
Thank you. Good morning to everybody. This is just an introduction to the Europeana Sounds project that is looking at the future of historic sounds. There are in Europe many hours of sound recordings, most of which are not available. 10 years ago, more or less, there was a European project called TAPE that was looking at the matter of preservation of sound and audiovisual material. TAPE partners made a survey that showed that there were about 1,000 years of sound recordings held by institutions across Europe. Many of the sounds were not digitized, or whether they were digitized, they were not online. Or even though they were online, they were still hidden and difficult to find. This fantastic heritage of sound recordings across Europe was, as a matter of fact, inaccessible. At the same time, during the last years, the way we enjoy audio resources over the web changed dramatically. So there's a massive consumption of audio worldwide that is constantly increasing, and a huge number of services that provide a fantastic experience of enjoying more music hours than a lifetime. They provide access to millions of tracks and are also available on your mobile devices. So what can we learn from these services? What do these services provide that the cultural institutions do not provide yet for audio heritage? Of course, they're not the same thing. These services are primarily for entertainment and for popular music, while cultural institutions have huge collections of classical music, traditional music, music important in local regions, but also dialects, sound effects, speeches, all kinds of other sound material, which these services don't provide, as well as their contextualization, maybe just the title and the names of the performance, and little more. So in these audio archives, there's a lot of unlocked resources. Many cultural institutions digitize them from different media, analog discs, early digital media, tape, wax cylinder, and so on. And the reason for digitization shifted over the time from preservation alone to preservation and access. Providing access is extremely important. So what the Europeana Sounds Project wants to do is to make the European audio heritage accessible to all, globally, 24/7, on the device of the consumer's choice. A little bit about Europeana. Europeana is the portal of the Europe's digital cultural heritage. It provides access to metadata, the textual descriptions, and to previews, not to the digital objects. No, sorry. These metadata point to thousands of cultural institutions across Europe, museums, libraries, archives, research centers that have online their digital assets. Different kinds of institutions use different kinds of metadata standards to publish the records online. Europeana aligns these standards into one, the Europeana data model, which means that you can search across different collections at the same time. Europeana also provides multilingual access, so you can search in the language of your choice and retrieve meaningful information. This happens thanks to the increasing use of multilingual controlled vocabularies by the content partners. This slide shows facts and figures of Europeana that provides integrated access to the digital cultural heritage of all European member states, plus other countries outside the European Union, including also the Vatican State, because the Vatican Library recently published a set of manuscripts in Europeana. The current number of metadata is more than 53 million, available in 36 different languages. The beauty of Europeana is uniting different cultural heritage collections, so you may have a musical score in one institution, maybe the original manuscripts of a classical composer, and other institutions may have one or more performances of the same piece. These are the results of a simple search using two keywords in the search box, Chopin and 25, looking at a second set of Chopin's Etudes. I can refine my search because Europeana provides facets in the left menu so that I can browse the records, for example, by medium, sound or image, country, language, providing institutions that it's below the screen you can see it. But above all, you can also filter the records on how you can use it. This is most important because you know immediately what kind of rights are upon those records. And we must also underline that the reuse of digital cultural materials is one of the pillars of the European single market policy that wants to boost the creation of new services and a new economy based on the knowledge. This is a further refinement. I do not know if you all of you see them. Anyhow, it's a further way I can refine my search. I ticked on the box sound. I can choose different file formats of different lengths, different kind of files. And this is how a single record appears in Europeana. It is provided by the National Library of Latvia through the Europeana Sounds Project. You can see the information in the metadata fields in the left side. You have the title, the performance, the publisher. But you can also listen directly to the file, to the track in Europeana. You can browse similar items that the portal suggests you. And finally, you can go to the provider's websites. That this is the key, the most important thing of Europeana, to redirect the information on the provider's website and fully enjoy the resources. This is the portal of the National Library of Latvia providing this kind of record. Well, let's go back to the main objective of Europeana Sounds, putting Europe's sound heritage at your fingertips. What Europeana Sounds is going to do is a 3-year project co-funded by the European Commission, lasting until January 2017. It wants to transform the access to audio in Europeana. We know that there's not enough audio discoverable by Europeana. They are less than 1.6%. So we're going to provide access to different subjects in the audio domain: music, jazz, popular music, classical, contemporary music, but also speeches, dialects, oral history, sounds effects, sounds of nature, radio documentaries, broadcastings, all kinds of audio materials. We will double the number of audio resources in Europeana. They were 500,000 when the project started up in 2014. And we'll also provide 250,000 of music-related items that can augment the user experience: videos of performers, photographs of musical instruments, interviews, musical score, and so on. Another key part of the project is to make the metadata much more usable and findable. We are adding genre labeling so you can find music via different genres more easily, providing standardized labeling so that every item has a rights label, and you know immediately what you can do with it, if you can just listen or you can download it and make different uses. Another part of the project is about helping cultural institutions to lower the barriers to access to this material. You will know the issue of copyright related to each recording that makes it difficult to find a way to make this accessible. This work is being done by a consortium, an ensemble, of 24 partners institutions orchestrated by the British Libraries as leader consortium partner. These 24 organizations are archives, national libraries, research centers with ethnomusicological collections, universities, web innovators, technical companies, experts in the web delivery and services. Europeana itself is a key partner of the project. We are working together across different nations from 12 European member states. And beyond the original 24 partners, there are 15 networking partners with whom we collaborate and 4 associated partners who are content providers of the Europeana Sounds project. Which are the main outcomes of Europeana Sounds right now? At first, the publication in Europeana are over 208,000 records out of more than 500,000. This number is constantly increasing thanks to the participation of brand new providing institutions. Then a version of the Europeana data model customized for audio and audio-related resources. It takes into account their complexity in terms of structure, because a musical work is described in many movements or a recording distributed over many tracks. It is therefore important to be able to represent the hierarchical relationships between the different levels which make a sound digital object. Then we have the guidelines for rights labeling, for the application of correct rights labels in a digital environment, an experiment of social tagging thanks to the use of the semantic annotation tool developed by one of the project partners, so that the users can tag an instrument they hear in the Europeana Sounds collection using the MAMO multilingual vocabulary of musical instruments. Then we are creating an app using a tune recognition software for the recognition of traditional Irish and Scottish music. This is an experiment ongoing. And above all, the European music channels. The Europeana Music Channel innovates the way the users enjoy the Europeana content. In comparison to the portal display, it has updated design and branding, improved media facets to find downloadable content, editorial articles created by the project partners that facilitates the access to the resources. Content partners can build guided paths to their collection in Europeana, so to help the end user that may have limited knowledge on how the portal works to match their research interests and not to be distracted by all the other stuff. This is a key access by theme and by performers or composers. At last, what about the future of Europeana Sounds? the International Association for Sound and Audiovisual Archives will be providing long-term support for the outputs of the project by helping to build a task force to work out how to get funding to continue the activities and to provide trainings to help cultural institutions to get the metadata into Europeana. I now leave the floor to Elisa that will speak about the Italian contribution to Europeana Sounds.
Good morning, everyone. Buongiorno. My name is Elisa Sciotti, and let's see what is the Italian contribution to this European initiative. ICU is a partner of the Europeana Sound Project, and through the Internet Culturale portal aggregates sound contents provided by the Central Institute for Sound and Audiovisual Heritage, ICBSA. The ICBSA heritage consists of about 450,000 audiovisual and multimedia documents, which range from music to history, from theater to dance, until the Archivio Etnico-Linguistico Musicale. This archive is composed by a rich documentation concerning the Italian and international folkloric, linguistic, and ethnomusical heritage. Which sound from Italy? From the collection of ICBSA, more than 83,000 digital contents is providing to Europeana, including 78 RPM, cylinder, and compact disc. The license chosen for disc and compact disc is free access, no reuse, right reserved free access, and while for the cylinder, the license is public domain. The recordings provided by ICBSA are very rich and various. Music of different genres, historical, theatrical, and literary recordings from the end of the 19th century to the 20th century. Just to provide you some example of the rich and wide range of material provided. Winner of the Nobel Prize, such as Pirandello and Guglielmo Marconi, speaking with us from the past. Emma Grammatica, celebrated performer, playing La figlia di Iorio by Gabriele D'Annunzio, and the great Caruso singing the well-known aria of the Rigoletto, La donna immobile, from the ethno-musical collection Il pianto delle zitelle, Spinter's Crying, and much more. Beyond the aggregation of the contents, Europeana Sound organizes events to promote and raise awareness of the sound heritage. The rediscovery event will be organized by 5 partners of Europeana Sound: la Bibliothèque Nationale de France, the British Library by ICCU, the Netherlands Institute for Sound and Vision, and the Austrian National Library. This initiative aims to promote and valorize the highlights of the collection provided by the partner of the consortium. The first rediscovery event was held in Vienna at the Austrian National Library, and this event named Beethoven meets Liszt. The second type of event organized by Europeana Sound is in cooperation with Wikimedia is the editathons. But what is an editathon? Sebastian Terburg from Wikimedia Netherlands defined an editathon as a scheduled gathering in person or online where volunteers collectively write Wikipedia article and or improve existing article with new information and enrich them with multimedia and or data. So, these activities activities want to enrich the pages of Wikipedia with soundtracks and related material coming from Europeana Sound Project. Many editathons have been organized so far with the support of the Netherlands Institute of Sound and Vision. You can see on this image as en Provence about the refugees and migration, or British Library about wildlife collection, and in Athens about Greek singer, or Latvia, and in Hilversum at the Netherlands Institute about sing bird. Also in Italy, we will hold an editathon at ICCU with the collaboration of ICBSA and Wikimedia Italia. The theme of the event will be Giuseppe Verdi, and we will focus on his most famous composition. We are contacting relevant institutions in order to cooperate in this initiative, and we are looking for experts to join us in editing Wikipedia. Europeana Sound also manages a rich website. It includes interesting posts about the sound heritage, news and events organized by the project. Each partner contributes with periodical posts on the blog, increasing the editorial content. In the website, you can also find press materials, video, virtual exhibition, a sound timeline, and you can access and subscribe if you want to the monthly project web newsletter. Europeana Sound Partner also contribute to the editorial contents of Europeana Music Channel. You can also follow us on the social page of the project and share or retweet your favorite news, or explore the Europeana page on SoundCloud. And now let's see a series of appointments. Okay. Europeana Sound second international conference, Unlocking Sound Collection, will be held in Vilnius University in Lithuania on Friday, 4th November 2016. And the program and the speaker will be shared on this page. Just before the Europeana Sound Conference on 2nd and 3rd November, we will be held the Audiovisual Archival Council, and could be a great idea to join both the events. The French Rediscovery event, organized by the Bibliothèque François Mitterrand Petit Auditorium, the theme Berry, le Muséum Vendée, Voix du passé, Voix d'aujourd'hui. And the Italian Rediscovery event will be held on October 21st at ICBSA within the suggestive scenario of Palazzo Mattei di Giove, with the theme Sound Landscape, or Paesaggi Sonori. And the program will be available in a few weeks. As you see, Europeana Sound is a dynamic project. In fact, Europeana Sound is looking for new associate partner. If you have a digitized collection related to the sound heritage, and if you want to valorize and promote your treasure, please contact us. Finally, what you can find and what you will find in Europeana thanks to Europeana Sound Project, please have a look to the teaser video. Okay. Just a moment. And thank you very much.
No, he was asleep in the trench as quick as possible.
Sei non dormisci, gli attacchi si frate. I think in Shetlands, when we came across there was no wind. It was absolutely calm. Couldn't have been better.
Nannarai pas alla guerre, patati patata, munaziste desfera.
Tagatoki kala makala tamala makala inala namana kota.
Ya kelura ka yelenya da.
Thank you to Marzia and Elisa. I would like to remember to you the speech of Maria Teresa Natale about Movio project for virtual exhibitions that will be held on Friday at 9 o'clock in the Teatro Studio. Thank you for your attention and excuse for us for our little delay. Thank you very much.